you. Welcome back to Raven and Baby. If you are new here, thank you for joining me. I post mommy related and baby related videos and vlogs. And if you like these videos, do not forget to share and subscribe. So we are going to get started with the 5 things I wish I knew about the first 2 weeks with a baby that I know now, but I didn't know then. So the first is sleeping. Of course, you expect to have plenty of sleepless nights. Baby wakes up very frequently and you just have to kind of deal with that. And let me be honest, you can deal with it a lot better than you probably initially thought, or at least I felt that way. I know that several months before having her, or say a few years ago, I definitely, if someone told me, oh, you're only going to get 3 hours of sleep and it's going to be broken up sleep, that the next day I would be a zombie. But I, in the first 2 weeks, barely ever slept, was only getting 30 minutes to an hour at a time. And it was a hot mess, and I was fully functioning the next day. So there's definitely something with the hormones or something that is making it easier for you to handle a lot more than you normally would be able to. So keep that in mind too. And yay for that, because there's plenty of other things that we have to deal with that are not that great. So anyways, sleeping, be aware that it's just going to be kind of all over the place. You never know. Some babies can sleep for 2 or 3 hours at a time in the beginning. Some babies don't. My daughter in the first couple weeks just didn't sleep at all. She would sleep during the day in my arms, but she was not sleeping at all at night, and it was a little rough to say the least. Plus I was recovering from a C-section, so the constant getting up out of bed and getting back in was not fun, but I digress. Alright, so they will probably eat very, very frequently. Babies have teeny tiny tummies. I learned that in the very, very beginning, they have like tummies that are like the size of peas. Like it's seriously tiny, and then it steadily grows in the first few weeks. So after the first 2 to 4 weeks, it tends to get a little bit better because their stomachs are a little bit bigger. But they are like, it's the amount of the size is just crazy to me. So anyways, the startle reflex. So I had kind of heard about the startle reflex and read a little bit about it when I was reading books during pregnancy, that sort of thing, but I did not know quite how bad it is and how much it scares them and that sort of thing. And in the first few weeks, or I guess the first week and a half, let's say, every time I laid her down, she would wake right up and, get the startle reflex. When I put her on the changing pad, it was really bad. Like anytime I laid her down, she had it very, very bad. And I didn't know what to do about it. I didn't think about it. And then around a week and a half, I was like, wait a minute, maybe we should try swaddling. I did not know that swaddling was specifically for that. I don't remember reading about that or anything. I just thought swaddle blankets were to help keep them warm and everything, because babies don't really know how to regulate their temperature as well as we do. So I started doing that, and it was a life changer. She was finally sleeping and Mama was so relieved. She was still waking up a lot, but it was so much better. I was getting 2 hours at a time now instead of sometimes only 30 minutes at a time. It was just amazing. So swaddling is key. Oh my goodness. And I have a video on how to swaddle. So if you want to know how to swaddle with like a regular blanket, then definitely check that out. There are also a bunch of swaddle me kind of like Velcro or zipper kind of ones. I will link one in the description below so that you can get those if you don't want to swaddle with an actual blanket, or you're worried that hubby won't be able to do it, because we got some of those and it's for that reason. Okay, cluster feeding. This can happen, and it means baby is not going to wait every like 2 to 3 hours to nurse. They're probably going to nurse in small amounts very frequently. So my daughter was nursing about every 30 minutes, and that was going on even through the night too. So I was just nursing constantly, barely ever had a break. It was fine. There was a lot of quality time, you know, together and everything. So I don't think there's anything wrong with cluster feeding. It is what it is. But definitely be aware that it can happen, because I thought there was something wrong. I thought it was really weird because so many other people that I watched their videos or I read about, their babies were nursing every 2 to 3 hours. And I was like, well, why is my baby not like that? What's going on? But it's totally normal and it's totally fine. Just let baby do what baby's got to do. And the last thing is baby reflux. I did not know about baby reflux. It kind of started when I first gave baby the vitamin D liquid stuff, that the D-Visol or whatever that you're supposed to give babies, or at least the doctor recommended that we give it to her. They said even with breastfeeding, she's not getting the vitamin D that she needs, and so give her this. And I gave it to her, and she projectile vomited almost instantaneously after giving it to her. I felt absolutely horrible, thought I gave it to her way too fast, but then throughout the day she was projectile vomiting and thought this definitely isn't normal. We took her to the doctor. They didn't think that it was the vitamin D at all. They thought it was just coincidence. I actually ended up not giving her the vitamin D because every time I've tried, like every few weeks or so, she always throws up from it. So I definitely think that was part of it. She doesn't like that at all, but she definitely did have reflux, and even still to this day kind of has some to a certain extent, but it's a lot better. She's 5 months old now. So be aware that reflux can happen, and it is pretty scary, because sometimes it's severe projectile vomiting. You're terrified that baby is going to aspirate. That's how she came into this world. She had aspirated on some meconium, and so her and choking on vomit and her and just spitting up has always been very terrifying to me because of how everything started. She was born not breathing, and that was terrifying to me. So definitely be aware that baby reflux can happen. There are things that you can do to kind of help with it. I was not aware, but it takes 30 minutes for all of the breast milk or food or whatever they've taken in to kind of go down and get into their stomach. So the best thing to do is to burp them and hold them upright for 30 minutes. And in the beginning, I wasn't doing this. Babies get really tired after they've eaten a little bit, and so you lay them down right away because they're sleeping. You don't really think about it. And so that's kind of what I did wrong in the first 2 weeks, and then took her to the doctor, talked about this problem, and that's what they recommended, and that's what we've been doing. We did stop for a little while because she seemed to be a lot better, and now lately she's worse again, so we're kind of doing it again. But anyways, definitely keep that in mind. You might want to hold baby upright for 30 minutes before you lay them down to kind of prevent any of that stuff coming up. So anyways, I hope this video helps you. I hope you liked this video. If you like it, go ahead and give it the thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. And I hope you are having a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.